Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, and today we're taking a look at the final assortment in the standard 3 3/4 inch wave, at least as our knowledge, since it could be possible they'll be releasing another wave down the line, but most likely everything up to this point will be under the Rogue One assortment rather than Force Awakens, so this pretty much finishes up the standard releases. Today we'll be looking at the third wave of the snow assortment of the standard 3 3/4 inch weapon build-a-series. Now, this is a pretty cool assortment, actually. We have Nien Numb, who is a returning character from the original trilogy. We have a variation of a Stormtrooper. This time we got the First Order Stormtrooper Squad Leader. It has a really nice jacket. I really like the design of this outfit. And we also have the really hard to get a hold of unmasked Kylo Ren. Now, this is actually the Japanese release of the toy. It's just a direct import of the Hasbro release. Due to how hard it is to get this figure in the States, I had no choice but to go by other means to get a hold of this, so I actually imported this from Japan. But that's pretty much it, and it's pretty much the same figure as what's been released by Hasbro. Anyways, we'll take a look at Nien Numb first. Unfortunately, Nien Numb is based on his, well, just the standard outfit. This is a little bit more similar to his original trilogy outfit, and it would have been nice if it actually was the X-Wing pilot outfit, but it's understandable, I guess, why they decided to choose this version, since it's a little bit more recognizable. Anyways, I wasn't really too much of a fan of the character, which is the reason why I never actually got any figures of him up to this point. But since he was a part of the Force Awakens line, I decided it was probably a good time to pick him up. He's still a part of the 5-point articulation range. His shoulders are on swivels, so is his hips, and he has a ball-jointed head, so that's good for what he needs to do, I guess. He has this really small silver pistol, but there isn't any way to store it, and that's pretty much it otherwise. His build weapon is this weird backpack. Once again, it's just one of those strange Hasbro accessories for these figures. It's not the worst I've seen, actually. It looks like some kind of, like, maybe something about space excavation or something, because it looks like it could probably be used in maybe mining or something. I'm not really sure what this thing's supposed to be, but I guess it's cool. Otherwise, we're just going to take this off and put Nien Numb out to the side. Now we're going to take a look at the Stormtrooper first, actually. The Stormtrooper itself is the exact same thing otherwise we've seen in the Stormtrooper releases. He still has the standard First Order Stormtrooper blaster, which we're going to take out to the side before it falls. And articulation-wise, it's the exact same thing. Ball-jointed head, swivels of the shoulders, and swivels of the hips, and that's it. However, what's cool is that he actually has this really nice-looking vest that I really like. It is actually removable. You just need to remove the pegs and so on, and then you can remove it, and it's the exact same thing as the Stormtrooper we've seen up to this point. He also includes this really large blaster with this strange handle, and I guess it's going to be used to maybe, like, heavy rocket firing and so on. But other than that, that's pretty much all we're going to get there. Now, obviously, the best part of this wave is actually the Kylo Ren. When I originally saw the photos, I was afraid this is all we're going to get, and it just doesn't really look that good. However, what's cool is that the headpiece here for the hood is removable, and underneath it's just the standard Adam Driver like face. It's actually a lot better likeness to a Star Wars character that I've seen in a lot of the other previous stuff. Over the years, Hasbro has definitely upgraded by the way that they design the human heads on the toys. And it's actually not the worst likeness of Adam Driver. It's pretty close, actually. Articulation-wise, his shoulders are on swivels. Same thing with his legs. However, once again, he suffers from the same problem as the other cloaked characters, where the entire piece is molded around and it just looks like it's a single piece, when in reality it really should have been like a separate piece like the Black Series figure. But that's pretty much it. Head is on a ball joint, and he does include the standard lightsabers we've seen so far. Just as a comparison, here is Kylo Ren next to the standard 5 points of articulation Kylo Ren figure. And we also have a look at the extra weapon series for Kylo Ren in the snow attire. So it's, I guess you can pretty much get all three of these figures and they'll represent pretty much all of his outfits in the film. It's the same outfit, but obviously it's at 3 different periods. This is just him standard, while this is clearly showing his helmet. But other than that, that's pretty much the same we're going to get for all the Kylo Ren figures. What he comes with is this very interesting scythe weapon. I don't really know where this came from, but it's pretty cool, actually. He does have a pressure missile, which we're just going to push. It's actually rather tight, so that's cool. Otherwise, it's just a scythe weapon. It looks actually kind of cool, but it doesn't really look something from Star Wars. It looks like something from, I don't know, some other show. Doesn't really look like a Star Wars related weapon to me. And for this, it becomes some kind of turret again. Seems like Hasbro is once again really outdated with the turrets this time around. Okay, so it looks like first this will become like a mount. We're just gonna plug this. Looks like it's gonna plug in like this over here. And then this will just plug on to the top. Looks like you can actually plug it into 2 different areas, but we're just going to plug it right here. And then we got some kind of weird missile-firing turret. It's also weird because the scythe piece will actually go in the opposite direction, but theoretically what it looks like, all you do is just load up the missile and it fires. And then you got some kind of mounted cannon. So, I guess it's cool, but I think this time around, all the individual pieces work a lot better than they do combined. And I actually mean all 3 of them, because this can kind of pass as something. This is definitely maybe some kind of rocket launcher, as I mentioned. And I guess the scythe would be cool for very unique characters. So that's pretty much it for the assortment here. Articulation-wise, it's the exact same thing we've seen up to this point. Nothing's hindered, so that's good. And everything has some really nice tight joints, and they do what they need to do. I forgot to mention that this Kylo Ren is actually in a different stance. A lot of the other Kylo Rens, either they just alter the feet stances, but this one has the most dynamic pose, since this is supposed to represent how he looked like in the final battle of the film, since he had that wide stance as he was fighting against Rey. So, it's still really cool for this wave, and I'm happy to get a hold of the final wave of The Force Awakens. I cannot wait to see what Rogue One has in store, but this is cool for what we got for The Force Awakens, and I'm very happy from what Hasbro offered, even if the articulation is definitely not up to standards for a lot of older collectors. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hirotaku. Also, please check out Hero Club and the other channels down below. Also, please check me on Twitter under Darkon633. I'll be back to bring more Star Wars reviews in the future, but for now, I'll be seeing you on YouTube. Bye.